All Souls Tulsa and All Souls Everywhere members try to live out what we call love beyond belief.
Bring your whole self each week to our worship services, Humanist Hour, and programs for families and adults.
Empower your children with a religious education that helps them make their own decisions about what they believe.
Connect and learn from our community of diverse experiences, faith, and cultures.
Sing with others in one of our many choirs.
Explore your creativity and find healing in the chapter of your life that you're in right now.
At All Souls, our members care for each other through the highs and the lows of our lives.
Live out love beyond belief here in Tulsa, across our nation, and around the world.
Join us. Become a member of the All Souls family in our centennial year.
At All Souls, our members care for each other through the joys and the sorrows of life.
All Souls Tulsa and All Souls Everywhere.
Join today at allsoulschurch.org.
To have members of the adult music program here with us this morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you intrepid drivers who didn't let the rain stop you from getting to church. Woo! And welcome to those of you joining us online. We love you too. On Zoom and on Roku and on Facebook and on live stream. We have a wonderful service for you this morning. If you are online, please invite a friend to join you and gather your family, your children, your grandchildren around your screens, because Shannon Boston has a wonderful, powerful story for us today that will help us all process maybe some of the anger you're feeling. And Reverend Davis is here with us. He'll be praying with us and for us. And Reverend Kathy Edwards has a powerful message for us this morning. So if you're here visiting with us for the first time, if you take a moment to fill out a Connect card, you can find that in the pew back in front of you, or online. You can click on the link. You'll share some basic information for us. We'd love to stay connected with you and get you plugged in to some of our programming. And if you are online, in anticipation of Reverend Davis praying, please share your prayer requests, your joys, and your sorrows. You can start doing that right now in the chat. I'm so happy to be here welcoming all of you. Please rise and greet each other, and then stay standing for this morning's invocation and covenant.
Oh, the hubbub has dimmed, making me feel like you have greeted everyone you wanted to greet. Well, say hello to me. Good morning, church. This is indeed a day that God has made. Let us then rejoice in it, and let us be glad, and let us count our many blessings. We are grateful for the capacity to see, hear, feel, and understand. We are grateful for the incredible gift of life. And we are especially grateful for the ties of love which bind us together, giving dignity, meaning, worth, and joy to all our days. Please join me in our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Welcome to All Souls, where we love beyond belief.
Lighting our chalice here in the sanctuary this morning. You may be lighting your chalices at home. I invite you to do so, as this morning we gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning and peace and community, in celebration of the life we share together.
Good morning on this rainy Sunday. Today's story is by Gail Silver, and it is called An's Anger. I definitely relate to this one. Let's see if you do too. An was in the living room building a tower, the tallest tower he had ever built, and his grandfather was in the kitchen making dinner. An's grandfather called out, "Dinner's ready," and An added a yellow block and smiled. The tower was almost as tall as he was. "Now the red one," An whispered, placing a red block on the very top. Grandfather came in from the kitchen. "What a wonderful tower. It's not done yet." An told him. Come sit down, Grandfather said. You can play more after we eat. He set the plates on the table and returned to An, who was balancing a green block on top of the red one. Put your blocks down now, said Grandfather. Dinner is getting cold. An wanted to keep playing. He opened his mouth to speak, but his bottom lip quivered and the words wouldn't come, and An's eyes filled with tears, and he started to cry. Grandfather tried to put his arm around An, but An pushed him away, knocking the tower over and sending the blocks flying. Go away, I hate you, An shouted. You're upset, said Grandfather. Please go to your room and sit with your anger. I'll come when you are calm and able to talk. An ran to his room and leapt onto his bed. His cries grew so strong that he could feel them all the way down in his belly. How do I sit with my anger, he wondered. I'm so angry, angry, angry. Finally, said a voice, I was hoping you would notice me. An lifted his head and came face to face with a hairy red creature. Who are you? Asked An, and how did you get in my room? I'm your anger, said the creature. You brought me here. My anger? Did Grandfather see you come in? I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Don't worry, An. I'm not a stranger. I'm the part of you that comes out when things don't go your way. I'm right here every time you get angry. I know you feel scared when I'm around. I can make you cry and want to hit things. I can even make you say mean things to the ones you love. An's anger started to turn the knob of his bedroom door. Come on, he said. I'll show you. An was tempted, but Grandfather had said to stay in the room. Wait, An called. Maybe we can do something in here. An's anger turned and extended a hairy hand. I know just the thing, he said. An took Anger's hand, and together they danced all around the room. They raised their hands overhead and spun wild circles. They used their breath to make sounds like a strong howling wind. And they got down on their knees and they pounded the ground with their fists. It sounded like they were playing drums on the earth, and An liked that. Finally, they were exhausted and ready to be still. An and his anger sat together silently. They sat and breathed in, and they breathed out, and they sat some more. I don't like to say mean things to people, said An, but sometimes I can't help it. I can help you, said his anger. How can you help? I thought you were the one who was making me do these things in the first place. That's true, but I'm also your friend. Whenever you feel angry, you should come sit with me. After we spend some time together, you might feel better. Spending time with you is kind of fun, An said. Do you want to stay for dinner? I think I'll be gone before dinner, said his anger. Are you sure we're having ice cream for dessert? An's anger smiled, and An smiled back. An heard a gentle tapping on his bedroom door. It was his grandfather. Grandfather and An sat together. I'm sorry I didn't listen, said An. I was really angry, and I wanted to keep playing. Grandfather took An into his arms. Thank you for your kind words, he said. I sat with my anger like you asked, said An, but we didn't just sit. We danced, and we played too. Do you want to meet him? An looked up, but his anger was gone. Grandfather, do you know what happened? I think I do, said Grandfather. You took good care of your anger, and it went away. That's right. How did you know? When I was a little boy, I met with my anger too. Really? Was it because of blocks? No, laughed Grandfather. grandfather. There were no blocks, just frogs and a lily pond and a sun that wouldn't set. Come, let's eat dinner, and I'll tell you my story. Here ends our story, and I would love to share with you one of my favorite ways to deal with anger when it visits, as it has. I do it through song. So if you would join me, this is one of my favorite, very simple, very easy melodies. It goes like this. I'll sing it once and then I want you to join me. It goes like this. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Just like that. Here we go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. One more time. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. There's a second part to this, just as long. It goes like this. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Try it with me. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? One more time. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Now I want you to think of that little hairy red monster. And that's your baby that you're rocking. Here we go from the beginning. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. That one more time. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. The second part. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Keep going. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go. Holy breath over here. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Last time. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? invite our children to come with me. We will talk about our anger and our sadness and how we can sit with them.
Welcome all on this rainy day if you're here in Tulsa, and all of you around the world, whatever you're experiencing, welcome. I have 2 readings today for us. The first is When People Ask, a poem by Rosemary Traumer. I want a word that means okay and not okay. A word that means devastated and stunned with joy. I want a word that says, I feel it all at once. The heart is not like a songbird singing only one note at a time, more like a Tuvan throat singer, able to sing both a drone and simultaneously 2 or 3 melodies high above it. A sound the Tuvans say gives the impression of wind swirling among rocks. The heart understands the swirl, how the churning of opposite feelings weaves through us like an incessant breeze, leads us wordlessly deeper into ourselves, blesses us with paradox, so we might walk more openly into this world so rife with devastation, this world so ripe with joy. In the second reading, we pull forward from the 13th century Rumi's The Guest House. This human being is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
First, want to light a candle for all of us gathered here as we welcome and honor all of our feelings, our joy, our frustration, our anger, our depression, whatever you're feeling. We welcome you. This morning, after a really rough week here in Tulsa, I'm going to light a candle for Dr. Preston J. Phillips, who lost his life on Wednesday at age 49. He was an orthopedic surgeon and section chief at the Warren Clinic in Tulsa. I want to light another candle for Peter Duncanson, who was on the St. Francis staff and a physician's assistant who worked very, very, very closely with Dr. Phillips. And a candle for all the members of this congregation and their friends and family, and of course the friends and family of the deceased. Many of you I've spoken with this week were actually patients of Dr. Phillips. So I light a candle for our community and our congregation, and also the people of the city of Tulsa. I light another candle for Dr. Stephanie Houston, 48, who also lost her life on Wednesday, a sports and internal medicine specialist with the Warren Clinic in Tulsa, for all her friends and family, and for all who went to her and received her exquisite care. I light a candle for Amanda Glenn, 40, who also lost her life. She was a receptionist working in a supervisory role for the offices at the medical clinic, and for her friends and her family, and all who knew her. And another candle for William Love, 73, who also lost his life. He was at the Warren Clinic with a patient and was killed when he attempted to prevent the gunman from getting closer to Dr. Phillips. We light a candle for his courage, for his friends and family, and for everyone who knew him. We light a candle for our questions and our frustrations, our sense of powerlessness, and a light to remind us of our power. Thank you for those of you asking for prayers online. We light a candle for all of our healthcare workers and all of our educators. They give so much. Sometimes it feels like they receive so little in return. For all their friends and family who are supporting them to do the work they do. And from Pauline, we have a request from Pauline Farmer Coppenall, a Everywhere member who was in California. She may have moved. Forgive me, Pauline. She asks that a candle be lit for a fellow swimmer who passed away last week swimming in Monterey Bay. Her name was Lisa. We light a candle for Lisa and her friends and her family and everyone who knew her and the community of open water swimmers. And another request that we light a candle for all of our LGBTQ family who daily are facing so much aggression and hate-filled language and challenges to their freedom and rights and dignity. So we light a candle for all of us who are learning to be better allies. And I invite you now to speak aloud the names of people you're carrying with you in your hearts and minds on this Sunday morning so we can hear those names and I can light a candle. Light a candle for all those names not spoken, but those people we hold in our hearts and hold them close as we hold each other close. And in this silence, I would invite you to stand if this Sunday is close to the anniversary of a death, or if you've had a loss in the past year, and we will sit when this spoken prayer begins.
O gracious God, Spirit of life and love, we are wounded this morning because we are living in times when nonsense becomes reality. Our hearts are open to receive all the hurt that is present. Our hearts are open and our eyes are filled with tears. And we cry out, how much longer will our country allow senselessness to overcome responsible regulation? Gracious God, sometimes we get angry because we are people and we are not full of all that we would want to have, that being grace. And that's when we remember that you told us that we will have difficult times. Stony the road we trod. Gracious God, we know then that difficulty is not somewhere else, it is right now. And we must continue to trudge on, bringing the light of your love to those we encounter. Gracious God, you have told us that we are yours. And because we are part of all that is good, we can't help but be good. Gracious God, help us then. Because we are dealing with people who believe that they are right. And they are stalwart in their belief. But you have said that love is what is most important. Open our hearts not just to the wounds, but open our hearts to give love to those around us, even those people who seem to be beyond our reach. A smile, gracious God. A smile to that person to say you too are included in God's love. To give them a reason to believe that there is hope. Gracious God, we are praying this morning that as we go about our days, we will have an opportunity to say to another human being, God loves you and so do I. Gracious God, we are truly yours. And we are on this mission, walking this path with you and with others, saying that we are what we've been waiting for. We are the ones. Let us hold on to that because your spirit is in us. Keep us then on this path, we pray. In your holy name, because all things are possible through you. Amen. Blessed be Ashe.
To heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light, to hold you in love. I am sending you light, to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light, to hold you in love. I am sending you light, to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light, to hold you in love. No matter where you go, no matter where you've been, you'll never walk alone. I feel you deep within. I'll walk the path with you. Go slow, dear one, don't hurry. I'll go just like you need to go. There is no need to worry.
It starts with a feeling. It may start with a feeling of powerlessness. It starts with feelings piled on top of others, layers of fear, grief, pain, rage, despair, bravura, overwhelm. I can name these feelings trusting you felt them too. As humans, is that me? Oh, it's me. What am I doing? I am lightning. Does that make a difference? Okay. Thank you. I thought maybe that was thunder and lightning. But I didn't see the lightning.
You're so powerful.
Well, I can name all these feelings, trusting that you have felt them too. As human, as mammals, as sentient beings, you've experienced these same unwelcome emotions at some point in your life. It is rare, an illness, for anyone not to feel the whole gamut of emotions during their lifetime, from elation to anger, from hopelessness to joy, and everything in between, even all at once. A warning. Inevitably, I will skirt us along the edge of recent shooting tragedies. If you feel your own fear and trauma arising, try taking a long, slow, deep breath. And notice your bodily sensations of sitting in the pew, your chair, couch, floor, wherever you may be. Ground yourself in the physicality to titrate any fears or reactions, and I will be gentle. Try to sit with your discomfort if you're safe, in a safe place. My aim is not to re-traumatize, but to get us all to pay closer attention to our feelings, all of our feelings. Pleasant, unpleasant, and some so familiar we don't even notice them. They become neutral. I don't know about you, but I naturally prefer avoiding all the troublesome ones. And we have collectively had more than our fair share. We prefer to be blissed out in calm, joy, happiness, pride, excitement. That's what I want, but I recognize it is impossible to remain on such highs always. So where I'm headed today is viewing our whole and full emotional life as the foundation of our ethical and spiritual lives. None of our feelings are a waste, even the most awful ones. None of our feelings are unique, even the most shameful ones. None are to be ignored, even the direst ones. And none dictate what actions we must take. So the spiritual theme for this month is inclusion. And I want to look at what it means to be inclusive of ourselves before trying to be inclusive of all others, beginning to notice and reconcile our own complex thoughts and emotions is key before we can open our arms to others. So, closely investigating at this internal place may sound simplistic, but just becoming slightly less reactive to this whole interior stew of sensations, feelings, stories makes a dramatic difference in our relationships and in our choices to act or not to act. It might be easier for us to look at a piece of history, something not so intimate or immediate. Over 40 years ago in San Francisco, the disgruntled city supervisor Dan White, a former fireman and policeman, murdered George Moscone and Harvey Milk. And if you don't know that, you need to know the story that Harvey Milk was one of the first openly gay politicians back in the 70s. So White was acting out of his own noxious stew of emotions. It started as a feeling. And he told the New York Times that he saw himself as the city board's defender of the home, the family, and religious life against homosexuals, pot smokers, and cynics. Now there's a grab bag. White had resigned from his city position, but then realized his voice was a deciding one. He wanted his title back, he wanted his power back. I don't want to dwell on Dan White, but I do want each of us to consider times you may have felt a similar version of these same feelings of regret, powerlessness, and rage. I know I have. For example, I can recall too vividly times raising our children when I felt at my wit's end. And for the first time, I had an inkling of what a parent without coping skills might do under stress, with little sleep, job demands, money worries, and partner complications. Identifying commonality with someone whose actions are odious, disgusting, and violent may seem wrong-headed, but it's instructive. I cannot claim to understand Dan White's thought processes, but I can notice all the times my own anger and accompanying stupidity allowed me to lash out unhelpfully, unskillfully. Regrettably, we have many contemporary public and possibly private examples of people acting on their feelings, of ruminating and granting more power to hate or rage. When violence and killing seems like a reasonable answer to a feeling, those feelings indeed have blinded that person to the thousands of other options that are more effective and less harmful. So if you're like me, paying closer attention to my baser emotions seems counterintuitive. Won't giving them an audience grant them more power over me? Wouldn't that be indulging in the pain and rage? No. Because a certain kind of curiosity, a detached interest, makes room for more understanding more clearly where the feeling comes from. It's possible to become skilled at noticing the kernel of troublesome feelings before they grow overwhelming. They become less surprising, familiar even. Useful signals you can indeed begin to handle. And they're gateways to better understanding our fellow humans. Just like the story On's anger that Shannon Boston read. On learns to see his anger not as some monolithic, scary thing that gets him in trouble. Instead, spending time alone with it, he starts to find all the nuances of anger. Anger can feel so empowering, enlivening, but On sees the power and passion within his anger. There is so much energy, he can dance with it. One of the seminal texts, books, from the activist work that the church does, Action, the book is titled Cold Anger, and it tells the history of work being done in San Antonio, that the citizens are channeling their anger towards city policies and inequitable treatment. They're channeling that anger into working together effectively, using the passions behind the anger. And they end up making significant and lasting changes to their city with cold anger, not Dan White's hot anger. I have a family member who tends to rage. Over the years, I've learned not to take his anger personally. It's taken a long time to figure that out. I now see his hanging up on me and his cutting off other family members as serving as the exact opposite of what he really wants, which is genuine connection. My own anger can do the same thing, deliver the reverse of my intentions. So the remedy to anger or any strong feelings is not to avoid or ignore it. Instead, one task at hand is to pay closer attention to it. Notice what triggers it. How does it feel? Where does it come from just before? What are those physical sensations? Heat in my chest, in my stomach, shoulders, that jaw that gets tight. One of my favorite Buddha stories shows the power of this less anxious attention that helps avoid getting tangled up in the passion and the stories and the energy. So the night before his enlightenment, Siddhartha Gautama fought a great battle with Mara. Mara is the archetypal devil of Buddhist mythology, a demon god, a tempter. And Mara attacks with every disrupting, distractive scenario he has: lust, greed, anger, doubt. But Mara fails because the Buddha notices more and more how these temptations evoke emotions that just come and go like the waves on the shore. No emotion is permanent. It may seem that way, but look again. They ebb and they flow. The Buddha doesn't have to respond, and he doesn't. And that's when he becomes enlightened, a wise aha. That's all enlightenment is, a wise aha. But this isn't the end of the story. Just as no feeling ever lasts, is the last and the only one, even after the Buddha became deeply revered throughout India, Mara continues to make appearances. So the Buddha's loyal attendant, Ananda, always on the lookout for harm that might come to his teacher, would report with dismay that the evil one had returned again. Instead of ignoring Mara or driving him away, the Buddha calmly acknowledges his presence, saying, "I see you, Mara." I imagine them playing a little hide-and-seek game. "I see you." The Buddha would then invite Mara for tea and serve him as an honored guest, offering Mara a cushion so that he could sit comfortably. The Buddha fills 2 earthen teacups, places them on a low table between them. Only then does the Buddha take his seat. Mara would stay a while, get bored, and then go. But throughout, the Buddha remained free and undisturbed. Aha. So this apocryphal story resonates with me because I recognize over the decades how every emotion visits me. Not just the awful Mara ones, but the joyous, very welcome ones. And the more I notice this revolving door, their coming and going, the less hold they have over me. And I'm not describing becoming some automaton, but rather being able to respond creatively, helpfully, compassionately, no matter the feeling or situation. My particular Maras are envy, anger, gluttony, and boredom. I see you, jealousy. Oh, insatiable hunger, you showed up again. Why, shame, weren't you just here? Did you forget something? By accepting these experiences with curiosity, the warmth of compassion even, we can offer Mara tea rather than fearfully driving him away. We begin to see more clearly what's true for ourselves and for all others. Most importantly, I can see the very different choices of what to do next. I'm not stuck in the ruts of rage and pain and hunger, and they seem to put me in. I'm not stuck. I'm no longer a slave to my automatic reactions. As Rumi so eloquently advised, be a guest house. Be inclusive. Few emotions are singular or pure, which is another reason to pay very close attention to your internal sensations. Joy always carries a shadow of sorrow. Have you been elated to go on vacation, but you already have in the back of your mind some sadness that it's only a week long and has to end? At Unitarian Universalist memorials, we give voice to the possibilities of grief, also carrying relief, awe, laughter. There is a cartoon of 2 fish swimming side by side in the ocean. One side-eyes the other and says, "I have mixed emotions about having been caught and thrown back." Having mixed emotions is the natural state of fish and of being human. And our greatest spiritual task, both personal and as a religious community, is to peel away all the layers of self-deception to get as close to reality as possible. Only there can we love most fully, help most selflessly, laugh most heartily, and cry most readily, and feel every single feeling. In these trying times, one coping mechanism is to simply name it. When you feel something, sorrow, anger, confusion, funny, notice if and how and when it changes. Does it get stronger, magnified, weaker, dimmer? Or does it get set aside because you're on to the very next moment in your life and you've forgotten that strong feeling for a moment? I didn't pick Dan White's tragic tale out of thin air, because how San Francisco responds to his murder, his murdering ways, is an exquisite example of recognizing every feeling, then seeing other possibilities for reacting. In particular, one response to those two deaths remains enshrined in our gray hymnal, number 170. As the city considers how to respond to these two shootings and begins planning a vigil, musician Holly Near attends to her own incensed, outraged, sad, inspired, and moved reactions. Her visceral, embodied feelings grow into words, then a poem with a melody, and finally a full-blown anthem, now sung around the world. So Holly Near takes her anger and San Francisco's despair and turns it into a dance. She invites Mara to tea and into her lyrics. We are a gentle, angry people. She writes a zipper song, which is a musical form that continues to change. It's a tool to give the song power, no matter the situation. Each verse makes room for additions, and as feelings and needs evolve, we can change and add lyrics. We can generously include all the feelings that bubble up. So when we're attentive to our own feelings, we begin to be increasingly open-hearted to ourselves and then to each other. We resonate with each other. We see how we're all wired together. We are justice-seeking. We are young and old together. We are gay, straight, questioning, loving, and every color. Nothing will be wasted. Nothing, not our anger, not our joy. And we are singing for our lives. Amen.
Amen to that. Matt, why don't you join us on drums for this too? It's in your gray hymnal. It is number 170. And if you don't want to look at your hymnal, that's fine, because we'll have the words put up here so you can see them projected. But if you want to look at your hymnal, it's number 170. They sang this on the steps of City Hall, San Francisco City Hall. Thank you for standing in body or spirit as we sing, we are a gentle, angry people. Please join us. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing for our lives. Justice seeking. We are a justice seeking people. colors. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. Gentle, loving. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Please be seated. I need to light one more candle. Thank you, Reverend Edwards, for that powerful message. Reverend Davis for that powerful prayer. Rick Fortner and the Adult Music Program for that powerful music. I'm going to light a candle for Michael Lewis and his friends and family, the man who bought the gun and must have felt he had no choice but to do what he did. We hold him and his family. Because we can do it. Because that's what spiritual community does together. I have a few announcements for you this morning. Action is in the front hall. They are notarizing mail-in ballots until the election on June 28th. We thank them for their activism and their care and nurturing of our democratic process. I hope you will join us this Wednesday evening. We're having an all-church potluck hosted by the Supper Club, which is a program that's been going on for a long time at this church. Sometimes those traditions can help us through these hard times. So come and meet old members, come and meet our new members who've been invited. That's this Wednesday evening at 5:30. Bring your favorite dish to share, meet some new people, some old people, make some new friends. This is Pride Month, and we are celebrating Pride as a community together. We'll be marching in the parade on the 25th. We'll be building a float, flying our massive Pride flag, marching with Yahweh. So keep your eyes open for more information about that. And please register for trivia night if you want to have some fun on Wednesday, June 29th. Proceeds benefit the All Souls program and the Coming of Age pilgrimage to Boston. Our offering today goes to Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. One of our traditions is to give away our plate to people doing good work in the community. Moms Demand Action is a grassroots movement of Americans fighting for public safety measures that can protect people from gun violence. They pass stronger gun laws and work to close the loopholes that jeopardize the safety of our families. They also work in our own communities and with business leaders to encourage a culture of responsible gun ownership. They know, as we know, that gun violence is preventable. And they are, as we are, committed to doing what it takes to keep families safe. We can only give away our offering every Sunday because you also choose to support the church. If you'd like to make a donation to the church, use a white envelope in the pew back, and we will now gratefully receive this morning's offering.
Freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom. Circle round for peace. For all of us imprisoned. Circle for release. Circle for the planet.
May the love which overcomes all differences, which heals all wounds, which puts to flight all fears, which reconciles all differences, be in us and among us, now and always. Amen.
We would be one as now we join singing our hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one in searching for that meaning which turns our hearts and points us on our way. As one we pledge ourselves to greater service with love and justice, trying to make us free.